The credit card world is changing, and if you're not paying attention, you're going to miss out. Sure, the perks and rewards are higher than ever, but along with that comes more rules, higher fees, and tighter restrictions. The game is getting harder unless you know how to play it, which is why in this video I'll break down the biggest changes reshaping the credit card space, so whether you're hunting your next card or optimizing existing ones, you'll know exactly how to navigate this new landscape and unlock even bigger rewards. Let's start with a major shift we've been seeing lately, where premium is getting even more premium. Credit card issuers are clearly moving up market. Why? That's where the money is made. You see, premium or high-income users tend to spend more, which means more swipe fees and then more profitability. Those same users are also less concerned about missing a credit here and there, credits that are supposed to offset those higher annual fees, like the infamous American Express Platinum card. Or more recently, the revamped Chase Sapphire Reserve. That refresh raised the annual fee to $7.95, up from the previous $5.50. But in exchange, Chase introduced a series of new perks. For example, if you use the entire $500 credit to the Edit Hotel collection, which is split half every 6 months, that alone can more than justify this increase. Add in benefits like credits to the Sapphire Reserve exclusive tables, StubHub credits, and boosted multipliers to certain categories, and it can be worth it if you're the type of person to actually keep track of and use these credits. At the same time, the card also removed one of their most broadly appealing features, the ability to use Chase points through their portal at a 1.5 cents per point rate. That's a big loss for those people who like that consistent and stable value without having to jump through a ton of hoops. And this upscale shift isn't just happening to personal cards. The same trend is also seen with business cards, like the new Chase Sapphire Reserve business card with a similar annual fee, but a whopping $30,000 minimum spend for the welcome bonus. It now joins the likes of the Venture X Business and the Platinum Business cards, which already lean towards big spenders and the high minimum spend. Then there's the American Express Platinum card, not sitting around just being one-upped by the Sapphire Reserve refresh, but rumored to be increasing their annual fee later this year up to a potential $8.95. And if that happens, you'll bet it'll come with a new list of credits and perks to try and justify that higher cost. Personally, it's going to be interesting to see how this premium card landscape changes over the next year. Because honestly, some changes like on the new Sapphire Reserve refresh does make it better for my specific lifestyle and spend, while not going too far in the direction of the Platinum card with so many different credits. All of this is like a growing barbell effect. On one hand, we still have some excellent no annual fee cards, like the Chase Freedom cards or the Capital One Saver, offering solid value for everyday users. But on the other hand, these premium cards are drifting further upscale, designed for a much narrower audience with a particular style of spend, and not your average user who will continue to find it harder and harder to justify. Now, while these existing issuers are doubling down in the premium market, we're also seeing something interesting with these new players, or at least some old names trying to make a big comeback. Starting with Citi, ever since they retired the Prestige card several years ago, they've been pretty quiet in this premium card space. But that's starting to change with some heavy rumors around their potentially new Citi Strata Elite card. In fact, by the time you're seeing this video, it may already be out, and in that case, we'll see how accurate the rumors were. For me, this is pretty exciting because I just started my Citi journey with my Strata Premier recently, and if I'm not disqualified for the welcome bonus of this new card, it can be a strong follow-up if the offer is compelling enough. Because so far the rumors on the card are just okay. A $5.95 an annual fee, which is lower than some of its competition, which is pretty crazy to say. $200 towards Black Lane, which is oddly fancy for this tier, more like a Centurion than a Strata. A $200 splurge credit towards certain brands like Best Buy or American Airlines, which could be fun but niche. An improved hotel benefit and Admiral's Club Lounge access, and then some strong multipliers, especially with hotels and these Citi nights dining, which can come in handy if you already like going out during those days. But honestly, even if I max out the hotel benefit and the splurge amount, that's only $500 and not enough to cover the annual fee. So overall, I would say it's fine, but not a big winner yet. That said, the more exciting part is what this card may unlock. If American Airlines becomes a Citi transfer partner, which might be possible given their closer partnerships, it could dramatically improve Citi's ecosystem, especially for, say, JAL flights going over to Japan. Then there's a much bigger stretch and guess. Maybe Wells Fargo will come into play. They've been quietly laying down the groundwork with their autograph series of cards, including the no annual fee autograph and the $95 annual fee autograph journey cards, both of which offer some really strong multipliers for their categories. And if Wells Fargo continues to build out their transfer partners and infrastructure, maybe also with a more premium card, they can be a major underdog we need to watch out for. And it's not just issuers' own cards that are seeing all this movement. We're also seeing a new wave of changes towards airline co-branded cards, where competition is heating up in a space that's been pretty stagnant. One of the more interesting ones for me, the American Airlines premium card that's slated to launch later in August. And for someone near SeaTac like me, the value could be strong despite the $395 in annual fees, depending on the welcome bonus and perks, like 3 times miles on foreign purchases, which is rare and interesting, lounge passes, which can come in real handy for SeaTac, faster elite status, great for frequent flyers, and more interestingly, a revamped companion certificate, where according to View from the Wing, they'll be sort of like Marriott's free night certificates with a mileage cap that you can then top up with. As someone who rarely flies internationally alone, this can hold some strong value, especially with Alaska expanding to Asia and Europe. Beyond Alaska, American Airlines is also worth watching. With Citi becoming their sole partner and Barclays exiting, it could be the perfect time to do a massive refresh across the lineup, possibly an even tighter integration with the Citi ecosystem, and maybe again that transfer partner. Overall though, these airline co-branded cards need a refresh, especially when it comes to the premium Alaska card that will benefit those up in the Pacific Northwest. And competition is always welcome, especially when it means introducing new types of perks like the ones on Alaska Premium Card. But while we're getting more cards and perks than ever before, it's also getting harder to earn those rewards with tighter restrictions across the board. Take the newly refreshed Chase Sapphire Reserve card. Years ago, you only needed 24 months between welcome bonuses of Sapphire cards, which I was looking forward to. But then it became 48 months, and now Chase is moving that card to a once per lifetime rule, similar to the policies on American Express cards. Or with Chase Inc. card referrals, where later this year, you'll only get a referral bonus if that person is new to the Chase business ecosystem. I'm not a fan of this trend, but I get it. Issuers want people to keep and use their card, not just to chase their bonus and then forget about them. It's the same logic behind more and more credits being split among quarters or every half, or welcome bonuses spread throughout different spending tiers. Issuers are also gaining more perks behind higher spend thresholds. On the Amex Platinum card, spending over $75,000 per year is what unlocks getting guests towards their Centurion lounges. A similar spend threshold is on the Venture X to allow guests towards any of their lounge perks. On the Sapphire Reserve, spending more unlocks higher status with IHG or some shopping and airline credits. All of this forcing you to spend more on a select few cards. So with tighter rules, limited bonus windows, and rising spend requirements, it's more important than ever to be intentional, picking cards that fit your lifestyle and habits and ensuring that you'll be able to hit those welcome bonuses for maximum value. And just like rewards are getting stricter, lounge access is getting more gated and exclusive. Take the Capital One Venture X. Starting February 1st, 2026, you'll no longer have guest access towards any of the lounge perks you get between the Capital One lounges or the Priority Pass lounges. Unless, of course, you hit that higher spend threshold. Even your free authorized user cards will lose their access unless they pay $125 per year, both of which really suck because the Venture X had been the go-to card for the widest audience of travelers with yearly credits that can reasonably justify that annual fee, but no more. Meanwhile, Plaza Premium had been quietly debuting their first series of lounges. First over in Asia, and then the first in North America in YVR Vancouver. These lounges sit right next to their standard ones, but offer a much more exclusive and elevated experience. If you have the normal Plaza Premium access, like through a card, you can pay more to then upgrade to get access. But that's the worry here, hinting at a future where more of this happens and more lounge networks will separate out their own higher tier of lounges, ones that will not be included in the typical lounge perks you get on credit cards. Maybe there's a future where premium cards will offer you premium lounge access towards these type of lounges and also throw in priority pass restaurants, which they've removed in recent years. At the same time, issuer branded lounges are also continuing to take over. American Express has long led the charge with their Centurion lineup of lounges, but now we've got Chase Sapphire lounges and Capital One lounges flooding the scene, with massive spaces, modern amenities, and unique perks like cocktail bars, in-house bakeries, and even facial spa services, plus smaller concepts like Centurion Sidecar and Capital One Landings, designed for quick stops and grab-and-go convenience. And honestly, I would not be surprised if Citi launches their own Citi Strata lounges, or if Wells Fargo rolls out their own Autograph branded spaces in the future. So yeah, lounge access is only continuing to grow, but also increasingly gated, tiered, and more exclusive to certain ecosystems. The same trend applies to credit card rewards too. They're growing, more tailored for travel and lifestyle, but also with more strings attached. One theme that's emerging is issuers dialing up their multipliers for booking travel, but mostly if you go through their own ecosystem, possibly because they get a higher kickback. The new Chase Sapphire Reserve refresh, for example, now gives you 8 times points when booking flights through their portal, up from the previous 5%. That's great if the prices are the same and if you don't mind booking that way. It's worth noting that booking hotels through the portal has dropped from 10 times points to 8 times points, but instead you'll get 4 times points when booking hotels direct with the companies, which is a welcome change. It's also worth noting that Capital One was ahead of the curve here, still offering their 10 times points on hotels and car rentals through their portal, and 5 times points on flights booked through the portal, which the rumored Citi Strata Elite card seems to one-up, giving you 12 times points when booking hotels through the portal, and 6 times points when booking flights through the portal. Issuers don't want you to just use their card. They want to own your entire travel experience, from general travel using their card, to incentivizing using their travel portals, to tailored credits like towards their own hotel collections, with Amex still leading the way with the hotel collection and Fine Hotels and Resorts, which from my experience still provides the widest coverage around the world, the Edit collection from Chase, the Premier collection from Capital One, and the Luxury collection by Citi. Everyone is trying to keep you within their walled garden. Now, if anyone is building an ecosystem at lightning speed, it's gotta be built. They're moving at startup speed, which they are, and doing so with a good amount of transparency and listening to feedback. They've already announced they're ending their Wells Fargo partnership, moving over to cardless, and starting February 2026, they're launching 3 tiers of cards: no annual fee, $95 annual fee, and $495 an annual fee. It's going to be interesting to see what they've been cooking, but we already know they're trying to expand into more housing options, including points when purchasing houses through a certain retailer, or even points on mortgage payments, which we know it's coming up. Again, the theme here is to own your entire journey. In this case, your housing journey. From their existing young crowd who are mostly renters, to then in the future they want to buy a place, well, Built is right there. And then even beforehand over to student housing, which they've been adding partners for as well. Personally, living in a high cost of living city, I've been tempted, but with no welcome bonus, it's been hard to prioritize over other cards. Still, it's one I'm definitely keeping top of mind. So where does that bring us? The gap between casual cards and premium cards is widening fast, and premium cards are becoming less about broad appeal and being more tailored towards a specific type of spender. Travel focused, lifestyle driven, and willing to pay a premium if the value's there. The downside is it's easier to feel overwhelmed. Higher fees, stricter bonuses, and more credits to track, along with a push for deeper loyalty instead of hopping around. However, if you're strategic and willing to put in the effort, plus staying up to date with a new wave of players and new or refreshed cards, the opportunities are there to get even more value than before, which is exactly what this channel is about, helping you navigate this space to maximize the reward you get for your spend and lifestyle, to then unlock unforgettable experiences like these and these, with steps like in this video where I break it all down, and I'll see you over there.